Hello and welcome to the Experiencing Love podcast. I'm your host, Philip Jacks, and I'm so glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here on what feels like a super funky day. Happy Easter Eve to anyone celebrating out there for the 2025 year. I know that the date changes every year, so I guess it's a little bit more challenging to wish that for future years. But I will say that with this holiday coming up and it being one that my family and I celebrate, it's put things into perspective today. I'm excited for tomorrow as my family and I are hosting. We have many people coming over tomorrow, and it just gives me an opportunity to be grateful and see the loved ones in my life once again. I also find that whenever a holiday, anyone that I celebrate comes around, it does something to the way I think and the way my days go and my schedule and all that stuff. And I realize it's because it's a pattern interrupt. It takes me out of what's going on and has me do something different, feel something different, even if it's just for a couple hours or a couple days or a weekend. So admittedly, I actually almost forgot to record this episode today. For some reason, a part of me thought I would record early in the day, and another part thought late at night. So when the two came together, they both decided that the episode was already taken care of. Or not taken care of, but I didn't have to worry about it yet. Either way, I didn't think about recording. And so it's late now, and my brain finally caught up and said, wait a second, I didn't post anything today. I need to show up and put in the work. And so here I am, like always, every day, showing up. And showing up is especially relevant to me right now because I've been getting a lot of signs and a lot of these universe downloads about showing up for myself. There's things that I know I need to do, and I've been avoiding them out of fear and anxiety and not feeling prepared. And it reminds me of how I felt right before I started this podcast. So I've been thinking about streaming recently. I tried it once and the video quality was not great, yet I still feel called to do it. While feeling called to do it, I want it to be high quality, and I started telling myself that I want to get a new PC so that my computer can handle it, so that I can actually stream. And for the past few days, I've been wondering how much of that is true and how much of that is just an excuse. Because I think a part of me does feel uncomfortable. It does feel a little worried, a little scared of trying something new again. And I have to remember that I've felt this way with this podcast, and I love doing this now. I'm now 109 episodes in, which is incredible to think about. As always, every single day I do this, I'm baffled by the fact that I'm still going. And I realize that it could be the same thing with streaming. Showing up and creating a space for a community now. That I don't need to wait for a certain number of people on my email newsletter. I don't need to wait for a certain number of followers on Instagram or TikTok when I start doing that. I don't need to wait for a certain number of followers and listeners on Spotify. I could just show up now and have the space open, have it available. Life is not about being perfect, it's about showing up. That's a quote that I heard today. There's so much of me that wants to be perfect, or perfect's not the right word because I don't want to be perfect, but wants it to be at a certain level that it's having me not show up at all. Because when I think about the whole PC situation, I still feel as though I'm a few months away from being able to afford a new PC. I have other priorities with my money, and I'm working at it. I'm doing those things, the things I feel I need to, and I keep jumping back to that thought of how can I make this work now? How can I make the whole streaming thing work now? I feel pretty confident that this is the path I'm going to pursue. I feel confident that in my future, I will be doing this regularly, and it just depends more on when, not if. When will I start? When will I show up? When do I want to get the results? So I'm thinking about streaming this week. I don't know what about, I don't know what style, and the biggest thing on my mind is I don't know what the quality is even going to be like. Don't know if it's going to be on YouTube or Twitch that I was recently exploring. I'd love to do both, but maybe I just focus on one at a time. And so which one? Which one do I focus on? There's so many questions that float through my mind, and I just have to trust that I'm getting the insights and the downloads that I need to make the best decision for me. I was about to say the right decision, but I don't know if there ever really is a right decision, in quotes. But I think we can make every decision right. If we learn from a decision, whether the outcome is good or bad, then it's the right decision. Even saying that the outcome is good or bad is purely subjective. We get to decide if the outcome is good or bad. Personally, something that someone might see as a bad outcome might be an amazing outcome for me because I get to learn from it. It's an interesting line of thought for me. Keeps me busy, keeps my head working. And I haven't really done as many work actions over the past day or two because I'm in that pre-holiday mode. I'm just observing, I'm learning, I'm journaling, writing note cards, writing sticky notes, taking notes on my phone, and recording this podcast as a way to clear my thoughts and see the decision that's best for me. I don't know, I don't really have much of a direction for today's episode, and that's just what's on my mind. It has been. And it has a lot of weight to it, or I'm giving it a lot of weight. Maybe because I'm giving it a lot of weight, I'm making it overwhelming and a bigger deal than it is and just not taking action. Maybe the decision is simple, to just start. Start showing up. Give people the opportunity to find me. Yes, I have this, but I don't think the Spotify algorithm is as generous as I want it to be. And by that I mean skewed in my direction, of course. And I also recently talked about just expanding exposure, being on more platforms, being in more places, so that the right people can find me. Maybe after the streams, people will head over to this podcast and vice versa. Maybe this podcast might be shared with friends and those friends decide they like to watch streams that are live more. Maybe they like to watch YouTube videos more. All I know is that I'm also putting off Instagram and Facebook and TikTok for as long as possible because I realized a few things with the priority of making the product, making the service, making the content that I want to consume, I want to use. I don't use Instagram. I don't use Facebook. I don't use TikTok. I use YouTube. I use that one a lot. I use Spotify a lot. I want to focus on what I would consume, and I'm here. I consume these things. I feel like I just answered my own question by realizing if I just focus on YouTube, just for now, just to be on a platform, I'm on YouTube. That can work as a start, and as I grow and over time as I earn money, I can get that PC and I could start streaming in more places and I could start doing more things. That much will take time. A lot of what we want to do takes time, but the clock doesn't start until we start. So the things that we want in life, it might take a year, 2 years, or 3 years, but it takes a year after we start and we consistently keep going. If we stop, the counter stops. So you may start for a month, but then you're still 11 months away. So if you stop, it doesn't mean that after 11 more months, you're going to get what you want. No, you still have to put in 11 more months of work. That's what I know I have to do. By me starting, it's not just going to happen, but the countdown starts. It's going, it's moving, just like I am. And eventually, growth will happen. Because I think the world, the universe, rewards people for showing up for themselves, for other people. We don't get what we want by quietly sitting at home and doing nothing and waiting. We get it by going and doing, showing up, allowing the universe to meet us halfway. Let the world and all its divine forces work with you. If you want to sit home and do nothing, it's going to work with you to allow you to sit at home and do nothing. But that's not what you really want. Your desires are usually locked away behind levels of fear. The world will give you those as soon as you start working to overcome those levels of fear. I know a year from now I'm already going to be streaming, and I can't wait to listen back to this episode to hear the fear in my voice. I can't wait to look back and appreciate how I feel right now, because how I feel is real. Fear is real. Worry is real. And we don't have to stay there. I don't have to stay there. And a year from now, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be in a different place, a different level, but I get to come back here and see how far I've come. So that's all for today. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and rest of your weekend. Remember to always fill up with the love, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.